Before we dive in, a quick note, I'm Dr. Olay's digital twin. I deliver the doctor's proprietary scripts, translating dense CFA logic into high-impact guides designed for one purpose, to stop you from losing points. To see if your knowledge holds up under pressure, head to the Study Buddy website. We provide the only tools designed to audit your true understanding and provide a surgical critique of your essay effectiveness before the CFA graders see it. This content is for educational purposes and is not affiliated with, sponsored by, or endorsed by the CFA Institute. You've likely heard the phrase correlation does not imply causation 1,000 times. But in the CFA Level 3 world, there is a much more dangerous trap, the misinterpretation of correlation. This happens when an analyst sees a zero on their screen and assumes two assets have no relationship. In reality, those assets might be joined at the hip in a way that could wreck a portfolio. The exercise and heart rate mystery. Imagine you're tracking the relationship between a person's speed on a treadmill and their heart rate. If you only look at a person who is either standing perfectly still or sprinting at top speed, you might see a clear line. But what if you look at a world-class athlete whose heart rate stays low while jogging, but then spikes only when they hit a very specific red line of intensity? If you just run a simple average, the relationship might look weak or non-existent. You would conclude that running doesn't affect heart rate. Obviously, that's wrong. The relationship is there. It just isn't a straight line. In the markets, if you assume a zero correlation means no risk, you are setting yourself up for a massive surprise. The mental model nonlinearity in the curriculum. When variable A is correlated with variable B, there are 4 possible reasons. 1. A predicts B. 2. B predicts A. 3. A third variable C predicts both A and B. 4. The relationship is just spurious or a total fluke. But here is the hidden logic you need to visualize. A measured correlation, that single number between -1 and +1, is designed to detect linear relationships. Imagine a graph where the data points form a perfect U shape. If you try to draw a single straight line through that U, the line will be flat. The math will tell you the correlation is 0. But anyone looking at the graph can see the variables are 100% related. This is a nonlinear relationship. In a crisis, correlations that were 0 often spike to 1.0. If your model didn't see the nonlinear link, your diversification vanishes exactly when you need it most. The midpoint check. We now know that a correlation coefficient of 0 doesn't always mean there is no relationship. It might just mean the relationship isn't a straight line. Now, let's look at the human traps, the psychological biases that prevent us from seeing these truths. The bias breakdown. The curriculum highlights several psychological hurdles that undermine forecasts. You must be able to distinguish these for the essay section. Anchoring bias, giving too much weight to the first number you saw. If the historical average return was 8% and new data suggests 2%, an anchored analyst might only adjust their forecast down to 7%. They are stuck to that original 8. Status quo bias. This is the lazy bias. It's the tendency to keep a forecast exactly the same as the last one just to avoid the effort of making a change. Confirmation bias. Only looking for data that proves you're right. If you're bullish on gold, you'll read every gold bug article and ignore the report saying inflation is cooling. Prudence bias. This is career defense forecasting. You temper your forecast so it isn't extreme, because you don't want to look foolish if you're wrong. Availability bias, being over-influenced by what is easy to recall, like a very recent market crash or a vivid news story. Command word focus, justify the mitigation on the exam. They won't just ask you to name the bias, they will ask how to fix it. If you are asked to justify how to mitigate confirmation bias, you must mention examining all evidence with equal rigor or debating with a knowledgeable person who holds the opposite view. To fix prudence bias, you must consciously identify plausible scenarios that would lead to extreme outcomes and give them more weight. Mastering these subtle differences in behavioral finance is what separates top-tier candidates from the rest of the pack. If you want to keep your bias detection sharp while you're commuting or at the gym, subscribe to Study Buddy. We turn dense curriculum definitions into the clear, conversational logic you need to pass. Great job today. Until next time, bye for now.